Hearties yo-ho! A toast to piracy and its many shiny rewards. I humbly accept this magnificent treasure as my reward for a life of villainy, larceny, skullduggery, and persnickety. Drink up, me hearties yo-ho! Don't tell me you're here to rescue me. Considering the success of your previous efforts, or lack thereof,
hello, welcome to my already updated version of my Sea of Thieves 2024 Beginner's Guide. I didn't realise the new season had already started by the time I finally got my original video out. George Gaming 1885 very politely informed me that it was outdated already because I've forgotten completely about the new season. That is my bad completely. So this is now the new updated version with according to the new season, from, like I say, from a beginner's guide, from me to you, from one beginner to another beginner. So I hope you enjoy. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And also in the information below you can find my Discord link, so please make sure to click that, join the server, and say hello to everyone.
There's nothing there for me. What a ship is.
So as part of this amazing game, we've got the Tall Tales, we've got a PvE server, PvP server, we've got Maiden Voyage and Monkey Island. Now Maiden Voyage is definitely the good start to the game, where you get to learn the basic abilities. You got a chance to earn 25,000 in gold and earn the unlockable skins and stuff by finishing all the achievements on said island. It's a really good starting place. Once you've joined the PvP server, what I would do is we would go to the settings, go to the graphic settings, options, max the field of view to obviously not have a disadvantage, have a good field of view. Turn off all the lamps on the ship because this makes you stand out, especially in the dark. So this is a really good idea to turn them all out so you don't stand out. So when people are scanning the horizon, you don't stand out like a sore thumb. So once upon a time, you had to scout the island that you start on, go to all the barrels to find all your ammo, food, everything like that. Now you can actually go to the Merchant Alliance on the dockyard, go to them, and you can buy crates of the food, ammo, everything like that. So it makes it a lot easier, a lot quicker. Obviously, you're going to have to spend some gold to do this, but it just makes it a little bit easier to stock up properly before you head out. But remember, before you head out, you need to know all the key bindings for your food, your ammo, all that type of stuff to make it easier when you get into combat. Otherwise, you're going to start panicking.
May I be of assistance?
One great little change to the new season update is that you used to have to go to each individual order to go and buy your voyages. Now, obviously, what I usually say is when you're starting out, the very early door voyages are pointless. You're better off island hopping, in my opinion. But the good little change to this is now if you go to each individual order separately now, you can claim leveling up prizes. So now they've kind of got it into a kind of proper tier section now. So you can claim your promotion prizes, and obviously it starts unlocking more and more voyages, unlockable, cosmetics, all that type of stuff. So it's quite a nice little change. So you can go to each individual one and kind of claim that, obviously, when you've been ranking up by obviously turning in gold to either to the sovereign or directly to each individual order. So one cracking addition now to this season update is that you have a proper quest table. So your captain's table is now your quest table. So this is where you can go to now start your voyages, tall tales, all that type of stuff. So by obviously handing in all your goodies to the sovereign or each individual order, you level up, and then you can go to your quest table, and you've already got unlocked. You've got more unlocked voyages and whatnot on here. So this is quite a nice little smart extra that's been chucked in here, and it puts it all in one place, just making it a little bit easier for everyone. So you should be able to start your voyages, tall tales, whatever you want, from wherever you want, instead of always having to go back to an island, go back to an individual order and start it from there. It just makes things a lot easier. Life is easier. The game is going to be better then. Awesome. So one of my best tips for being a beginner is to go island hopping. So I mentioned this a moment ago. So island hopping is, as it sounds, literally just start going small island to small island, find all the beasties on there, find the skeleton captains, whatever they are, Ashen Guardians, kill them, do the skeleton orders where you get extra chests and whatnot, and whatever other chests or items that are on the island. You can usually find quite a bit of gear on here. The reason why I did this is because the early voyages, I've been told, were pointless. Yes, you're not spending much money to buy them, but they also pay out for the voyages were a bit useless. Yes, you obviously do earn XP with each order for doing the quests or the voyages, whatever you want to call it. But it was a little bit pointless when you could just go island hopping and then just hand in a lot of gear to each order. I think I got my gold a lot quicker doing it this way than trying to do small voyages early doors. In addition, I find that I've kind of gained more game experience just going island hopping, just as a solo player, just learning the ropes literally just by going island to island, fighting each individual, NPC that's on there, finding the loot, getting the loot up. You can actually get quite a decent amount of loot on these islands, which makes it far more worth it. And especially if you do some island resetting, you can definitely carry on getting loads of skeleton captains, where obviously they drop a skull, they drop money, they drop skeleton orders. And skeleton orders will literally is X marks the spot on the island, and obviously you dig up a chest. So it's really good, and like I say, for a beginner, this is probably one of the best things you could do to earn your gold early doors, to obviously get your first ship. So this is definitely a top tip I would recommend, and like I say, one of the best ways I found to actually learn the game, learn combat, learn all my key bindings, and just play the game. And again, just keeping an eye out for other players who might come and try and snipe you when you're on the island trying to find your treasure and trying to get it back on board. As I said, by doing the little islands, you do find some decent treasure. So this is the first time I actually found an Ashen Guardian, and on the same skeleton orders from the Ashen Guardian, I found an Ashen chest. So this is my first one, and this is about 40 odd hours into the game that I found an Ashen key with an Ashen chest. So this is brilliant. This is my first one that I've done. So I was really chuffed to pieces, and that was literally just the first island I got to on this bit of gameplay. So I found it brilliant. And like I say, you can gather up quite a lot of good chests just by doing the little islands and hopping around. And like I say, I think you can get some decent amount of money for a short amount of time. The next big tip I would suggest people to learn is the sword lunge. So the best way I found to learn to do this early doors is by holding the right click if you're on the mouse to guard. Whilst you do this, then hold down the left button to charge up your lunge, and then as soon as you see your character kind of almost start that little hint of movement forward / jump, you then hit the space button and it throws you forward. This is a great way to get from the island to your boat, to travel decent distance through water, everything like that. So this is quite a key thing to learn, also for any combat. Another good thing to start when you're new is start the tall tales, especially the ones for me related to the Pirates of the Caribbean, which you can go down to the woman on the beach and start, and you get to meet your favourite characters like Master Gibbs, Captain Jack Sparrow, see highlights of the movies. It's all fun and games, and you get to do quite a few achievements. You get quite a lot of gold for unlocking achievements and hitting milestones as a pirate. Also, in each individual playthrough of a Tall Tale, there's certain achievements that you can unlock. Again, more unlockable skins, decorations for the ships, and all that type of stuff. So again, it's quite worth doing. And like I say, you can earn quite a bit of money from hitting milestones. But it's just, all in all, it's just a lot of fun as well.
You are no longer my only guest.
Ah, we meet again. This fine woman's been telling me about this Sea of Thieves we found ourselves upon.
Next up is an order that once you buy your own ship, you can go to the big purple tent on these islands and outposts, and you can sell your goods directly to them. They will entail sell all your goods to all the individual orders for you on your behalf. It just makes it a little bit easier, a little bit quicker. And again, you can just get voyages and all sorts of unlockables from here as well. Now, a couple of big things to really get in your head is don't be upset with yourself if you keep getting killed. You will see a lot of the ferryman, the ferry of the damned. You will see a lot of him, so don't worry if you end up here quite a lot of times. We all do. Don't worry about it. Don't fret. Just carry on. Now, once you're on the high seas, make sure to stay away from storms as much as you can, as it becomes hard to actually steer your ship. The compass becomes useless. It floods your ship, it breaks the ship, and lightning can kill you, and becomes really annoying. Not only do you need to keep your eye out for storms, you also need to keep your eye out for other players' ships, skeleton ships, megalodons, krakens, all that type of stuff. Cannon fire from islands as well, as skeletons, NPCs can usually be firing cannons at you from the island itself, so you need to keep your eye out. Once you are actually at an island or a port, try not to anchor your ship, as sometimes you may need to make a fast getaway away from other players who can come up behind you, try and kill you, try and steal your loot. Therefore, try not to anchor so then you can make a swift getaway. Using a harpoon also sometimes helps to try and maneuver the ship. And remember, that treasure that you found is not yours until you sell it. So therefore, don't get too upset. Try not to get too wound up if you lose it, because at the end of the day, it's not yours until you sold it. But once you've actually made it to an island, you might find these islands inhabited by NPC beasties, sea beasties, skeletons, skeleton captains, all sorts of items. They all drop items every now and then, especially skeleton captains, which are really useful because they drop a skull, gold, and a map where X marks the spot on the island for a treasure. And again, on the island, make sure to keep your eye out on the horizon for any ships coming by, because again, they may try and find you distracted and may come and sink your ship, kill you, and take your loot. What I would recommend early doors as a beginner is not to go and do the orders voyages. They don't pay out much. The best thing to do sometimes is literally just go island hopping, especially to the little islands where there are skeleton captains, and do the maps and find treasure, because usually you can find some rare treasures. For example, a chest of sorrow, chest of rage, the chest of 1,000 grogs, and these are some of the high-paying chests in the game. Some of them have a higher reaction to environment. So, for example, a chest of rage will explode. It needs to be cooled down in the water before going on your ship. But also, you need to then flood your ship, put it in the bow of your ship, and flood the ship so then it keeps it cool. The chest of sorrow will try, and every now and then it will cry and it will flood your ship. So again, you will have to empty the ship of the tears, as it could actually sink your ship again. But a lot of the others say the chests are actually safe just to transport as they are. I would also recommend trying to do island resetting. So like you just seen, I jumped in my cannon, fired the cannon, and I've swam past the first mermaid to the second mermaid, because this can help to reset the island, reset the potential captains of skeletons. So again, I can try and get high value loot, or NPCs where they drop decent loot again. So you can do that multiple times if the server is quite quiet in your area. Another top tip is when you are collecting treasure, put it on the island in a good spot to then use the harpoon to quickly get the treasures on board, instead of trying to go back and forth to put it on the ship. Eventually, when you have enough gold, it took me about 30 hours, but I was also playing Tall Tales. Eventually, when you got enough gold, for example, it's 250,000 to buy a sloop. Eventually, when you get to do that, you can buy your own ship, name your own ship, and then you can start working towards pirate ship milestones, which again can also reward you with money, loot, and obviously experience towards the season pass at that point. By doing this, you also get the option to repair the ship, rename the ship, and dismantle the ship on the main menu. All little extra features which I think is quite nice, and you get to decorate your ship. So just to recap over some of the things I think is the best things for a beginner to know is, like I say, don't waste time trying to do voyages early game for the orders. I know they don't cost much, but they also don't pay out much, so it's a little bit pointless early game. It is just better to go island hopping find your way around the map, find what islands are quite decent for dropping loot or having skeleton captains, and just revisiting these constantly. Have a little bit of paranoia around you. Again, keep your eye on the horizon, make sure no one's sneaking up on you. It took about 40 hours till I found a non-toxic player. So far, everyone I've come across has just fired on me straight away. So remember, you're going to get killed, you're going to get trapped, people are going to come up against you. Sometimes it's teams of 3s and 4s, they're going to troll you. So it's just a case of keep your eye out, keep smart, don't anchor at islands or the ports when you're unloading treasure. Make sure you don't do that so you can try and make quick getaways and make smart decisions. Because remember, at the end of the day, the loot that you find on the map isn't yours until you've sold it, and that's the main thing. Don't get annoyed that you're going to end up at the ferryman a lot of times as well. And again, that loot isn't yours until you've sold it. That's the main takeaway I have to go with. Don't get upset over it. But at the end of the day, it's just another game, and it is a fantastic game to play, especially the Pirates of the Caribbean elements of it. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this has helped you. Please make sure to drop a like, subscribe, drop any comments in the section below, because I do read them. I will obviously think about them and take them with a pinch of salt. If you think I've missed something for a beginner to know, then again, just drop it in the comment section below. And I hope you've all enjoyed this, and I hope you all get to play Sea of Thieves in the near future, especially when it goes on discount on Steam and stuff like that. It's really worth it. I've loved playing it so far. I'll see you on the horizon.